So I teach people to do this daily Big Six reset every single day of your life to change your life. Right? I'm going to show you what they are, but before I do that, I really need to say something here that's very important. Many people don't know how backed up with waste and muck and toxins and inflammation that they are. Some people do because they're really, really sick. So if you have an autoimmune disease and chronic pain, I already know they're backed up. But you can supposedly think you feel great, but that doesn't mean that your lymph system still isn't an issue. When you do these Big Six, it's really, really simple, but that's where it gets deceiving because it seems so simple that it can't make that much of a big difference. And I'm going to tell you, that's where you're wrong. It can make a huge difference because you're changing how fluids flow in the body. And when you free up this flow, the muck in that sink is going to start to move around until it can get out. And it's going to get out through your pee, your poop, your sweat, and your breathing, but primarily through urination. So when you do the Big Six here, I need to make a caveat. If you're really, really sick right now, I want you to go super easy on this, all right? Because what may happen to you is that you can get a detoxification reaction from what I'm going to demonstrate for you today. That means that you can feel pretty damn bad later on after we do this. And listen, that's normal. That's okay. Don't freak out. Don't get nervous. I tell people better to get that stuff out than in. But it can happen. And people say, what does a detox feel like? Well, one, I say, did you ever have a really rough night out at the bar? It's kind of like that. You're going to be tired, fatigued, lethargic. You can have a wicked headache. Some people feel nauseous. Some people get sweats. Some people break out on the skin. Some people have more pain than they did after they did the Big Six than before. Or they say, I didn't have this pain before and I did your Big Six and now I got it. Well, guess what? That's all normal and that's okay. That's your body trying to get rid of all of this stuff and get used to all these changes. So what I want people to do is also, lymph is 90% water. And most people are dehydrated. So before you do the Big Six, I would like for you to take a nice big giant drink of water and keep drinking water as much as you can, all right, or more than you do now, okay? So that's my check mark of really being aware of that, because so many people message me, if doc, I get this. I mean, is that normal? Yes, it is. All right. Okay. You ready for the Big Six?
I'm ready.
All right. Now, the most important part of my work is the awareness of the Big Six. Now, what you do to the Big Six, I honestly don't care. What do I mean by that? I'm going to show you the way that I do it through rubbing and tapping, which is just manual stimulation, right? You can use gua sha tools. You can use cups. You can use, I don't care what you use on these places. That's up to you. I just want you to make sure that you 100% have to do it in this order. Do not mix up the order because that causes a backflow of the fluid.
So if someone was using cups, they really need to maybe put it on their collarbone area before they move.
Yeah, you better not be cupping anything on the body till you do the collarbone. That comes first, okay? Because every place that you stick a cup, you're going to increase and decrease flow. And I'm always going to ask you, well, where in the world do you think that comes from and where it's got to go? We always want to open that up first. That's a huge thing to understand, all right? And most people are a hot mess at the collarbone. They don't even know it until you stick your fingers in there and it really hurts. And my point is, it's not supposed to hurt when you stick your fingers in there. So you have a spot called above the collarbone and below the collarbone. It's called supraclavicular. Supra means above, clavicular is for clavicle, and then below. So all I want you to do is you're going to start on either side first. It doesn't matter. You're always going to do both. But I like to start on the left-hand side first because, one, it's closest to your heart. Two, that's where most of the lymph system drains. About 75% drains to the left side. You take your hand that's flat, right? If you're listening and you're not able to see this, you put your flat hand right on top of the collarbone. And I want you to rub on the collarbone, on it, above it, and below it in circles. And I want you to, I don't care if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. I want you to do about 5 circles clockwise to counterclockwise, and then do the other way. Okay. Now, you can also do just straight up and down. You don't have to do circles. I'm just giving you options, right? But circles I like a lot. After you do 10 circles, I want you to just tap with your whole hand on, above, and below the collarbone. Use your whole hand. And then people say, how hard do you tap? Well, yes is the answer. Just don't hurt yourself. All right. And then you do the other side. So you just go right over. Now we're on the right-hand side. Do a couple of circles clockwise, do counterclockwise. You're going to free up that tissue, get a little bit of heat in there, and do your 10 taps. Now you just opened up the drain. So now the other spots are going to start draining to it because I just opened up the sink. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to go to spot number 2. Spot number 2 is going to be at the top of your neck, on the side of the neck, behind the angle of the jaw, right below the lobe of your ear. And that's the largest lymph node in the neck. If that gets clogged, your brain's going to be a hot mess. So what I want you to do is, on the left-hand side, you can actually do both sides at the same time on here if you want. You take your fingers and you put it right behind the angle of the jaw, go up top, and you find that space behind your jaw. And I just want you to rub right there. You can rub up and down. You can also do circles if you want to. Just get creative. I mean, honestly, you can do the hieroglyphics here. I don't care what you do. And then what I want you is lightly tap with your fingers. If tapping bothers you, just rub a little longer. I don't want you to ever have pain when you do these. Now, what happens is spot number 2 is going to start to drain down to spot number 1, and everything above spot number 2 is going to start to come down. Now we're going to go to spot number 3. Spot number 3 is at the shoulder joint, right? Because the shoulder is supposed to move a lot. And so is spot number 2. Spot number 2 is where most of the motion should happen in your neck. And supposed to is the operative word here. Mm-hmm. So what you're going to do is put your flat hand right over where your pectoral muscle goes into your shoulder joint. Some people know it is like near your armpit and your pec. I just want you to rub that region. Okay? Go all over the whole thing. So you're on your pec, you're more on your pec and your armpit. Circles one way, circles the other way. And then now I want you to slap right at that joint 10 times. Now that's going to start to rush up to your collarbone. Now do the other side. So we're on the right-hand side. So do your circles. You can go fast. You can go slow. There's no magical speed. And then do your hits. Okay. Now, that's spot number 3. Spot number 4 is going to be your abdomen. So I want you to put one hand on your navel. And I want you to put your other hand above that. So one hand each is on your belly. So basically, yes, you're covering your entire belly with your hands. And both hands together start to do circles. Big, giant circles, right? Do clockwise, do counterclockwise. You can even go up and down. You can go side to side. Just get in there. And now you're going to do belly bangs, right? Hit your belly, navel and above. Just like that. There you go. Hit that at least 10 times. Sometimes I'll tell people when they get good at this to hit that 50 times a day. Change your life. Nothing should hurt. Now, spot number 5. That's going to be the crease of the groin where your pants crease when you sit. Those are called your inguinal lymph nodes. And those get tight when people sit all day, right? So what I want you to do is put one hand on either side of the groin and do circles around the crease of the groin. Inside, outside, clockwise, counterclockwise, and then rub up and down along the crease of the groin. Usually 10 times is enough, but you can stay there a little longer. And now I want you to tap the crease of the groin. Just go gentle there. Now, that's one of the most important places to work because that's the main blood flow to everything in your leg. And that's tight on most people. So if you're choked there with blood flow, you're not going to get better in your foot injury. That's the message I want you to take from here. Now, we got one more left. And that's going to be a big place that gets blocked because of so much sitting. and people don't do enough movement, so they don't use the calf muscles a lot, and they don't use that to help pump the veins back up towards the collarbone. It's behind the knees. So you can sit down or you can bend over at the waist, at the hips a little bit. I want you to rub behind the knees, clockwise, counterclockwise, or up and down. That's called popliteal, behind the knee. And then I want you to hit the back of your knee 10 times. And after that, let's get you pumping a little bit. So I have people stand up, separate your feet to a comfortable distance, close your mouth, breathe in and out through your nose, put your tongue, the front, the middle, and the back, the whole thing to the roof of your mouth. And I just want you to lightly bounce up and down on the balls of your feet like you're doing mini calf raises really quick. Don't jump completely off the ground because most people can't tolerate that with their joints. And just pivot like that for like 10 to 20 seconds. And now you're getting your pump going up and down. If you do that every single day, within 30 days, you're going to be a new person.